fraudster or you're a fraudster and we want to go after a bank in Italy or Germany or Spain, we can do that. And what we have to do is basically three things. We have to identify a bank where we know how to cash out accounts. Next, we would have to obtain those online accounts from as many consumers as possible. And then third thing we have to do is obtain money mules from that same country. And I'm sorry if you're hearing some noise in the background. That's from the renovation going on in our new offices.
Okay. It's clear here. Don't worry, we can hear it.
Okay, good. Okay, so first of all, fraudsters can identify a bank anywhere they want, where they know how to cash out accounts. Once they have identified a bank that they want to go after, what they want to do is distribute or get as many consumers to fall in a phishing or Trojan attack. So what do? First of all, they can buy a long list of spam mailing lists. So, for example, if I were a fraudster, I could buy 1 million emails in the U.S. or anywhere in Europe for $200, and then, that spam email with a link to a Trojan or phishing attack would get to those recipients. So, first of all, we have the option of buying spam mailing lists to get to our target consumers. Another thing fraudsters can do is buy a bunch of pre-infected machines or hijacked computers. In the underground, those are sold for example, for 1,000 hijacked computers can be bought for $110, 1,000 hijacked computers in the UK for $180, and the list goes on. So once I have the hijacked computers in a certain country, I can be sure that my Trojan will infect my target consumer audience. So that's another option of infecting the target consumer list.
So this is really something that's more strategic than people may think on the outset. When you have somebody that's actually purchasing an email list, a targeted email list, that means we're way beyond the script kiddies and the garage band kind of guys. We're going into somebody who's got a little bit more of a sophisticated level of thinking. All right, that is saying, hey, look, I don't want just anybody. I'm going to buy myself a list, and I'm going to start targeting people.
Right.
Yeah.
That's even the low tech end of the chain. The more sophisticated fraudsters, what they do is they can configure their Trojans to look at your IP address. So if I don't have a nice spam mailing list that specifically targets recipients in the UK or Italy, what I can do is configure my Trojan to filter out the computers that I'm targeting. So I can look at your IP address and see if you're in the UK or Italy. If not, I can filter you out so my Trojan won't even target you. Another thing they can do is configure the Trojans to specifically look at your browsing history to see what banks you access. And if I'm not interested in one of those banks, the Trojan will stay dormant, and again, you're filtered out. So there's quite a few ways they can target a specific consumer set in a country.
Yeah. Now, when people normally think of geocoding, they're thinking of direct addresses. In other words, my business address or my home address or something of that nature. And can they geotag IP addresses as well?
If they can tag an IP address as being in a certain locale, is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah. I mean, if they can geotag, business addresses.
City, sorry for cutting you off. They can specifically see what city you're in, what state, what country. So just by looking at your IP address, they can know, quite a few things about your locale.
Yeah. All right. This is our. What? Say again, more. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Sure. Should I go into how they cash out those accounts once they've infected the appropriate PCs?
Well, we're going to do that in just 1 second after we get back from our town hall visit with our friends over at Cisco. So we'll be right back with Mor Ahuvia from RSA's FraudAction Research Labs after this message. We'll be right back, folks.